right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day today to join the webinar. We do these Think Tank Thursdays every third Thursday of the month. So keep an eye out for our emails for each new topic every month. My name is Gary Gobin. I'm the Director of Operations here at Hospitality International. And I just want to wish a happy holiday to everybody on the call, and really appreciate you taking the time out during the holiday season to learn a little bit about bed bugs. So it is my pleasure today to introduce to you Jeff Zimmerman, and he is the bed bug doctor. So I'm going to unmute you, Jeff, and you should be able to speak any second. So, Jeff, the show is yours.
Buddy, thanks for being able to participate in this. And we're going to start by telling you guys that we're going to be telling you how you can defend your hotels against the bed bug infestations that are going on in the U.S. right now. We're going to do the next slide, Gary. And once again, I am Jeff Zimmerman. I am the CEO of Bedbug Heat Doctor Prevslaw. We basically own a company that's been in business for 6 years, selling bedbug equipment and solutions to the hospitality industry and other industries. Go ahead, next slide, Gary. So when you're talking about bed bugs at your property, can you grow legs within your community? It can. It can create an hospital environment, and it can also hurt your reputation. If you don't take the opportunity to work on your reputation when you get bed bugs, it will get out of control, and you can get some bad reviews out there. So definitely want to watch your reviews on that. Okay, next slide, Gary. While even the cleanest facilities are not immune to this problem, I've heard of 5-star hotels getting them. I've heard of 1-star hotels getting them. But there are ways we can mitigate the risk and halt the progression of the bed bugs when it does occur, and that's what we're going to explain today. Next slide. So we're going to start with inspections. Definitely looking in the bedrooms, day rooms. When I say day rooms, I mean if you have a lobby or any of the areas like that. Your rec rooms, if you have like gaming facilities or anything, and then other important facilities like your laundry area, and even where you're collecting towels from the pools and stuff like that. Anywhere you're dealing with the public handling your equipment is basically what we're going to look at for inspections. Next slide. Identifying the signs of bedbug habitation. We're going to go over what they look like on one of the slides coming up shortly. And if you have any questions, we'll save all the questions for end of the presentation. Next slide. Here's your identification. So they start at eggs, they go to nymphs, and then they go to a larger nymph, and then young adult, male and female. So becoming familiar with the life cycle of the bed bugs. There are other insects that may look similar, such as bat bugs, but what we're looking for is the dead or live bugs, all stages. The shredded skins, they'll be yellowish in color. The black dots, which is the fecal matter. Reddish brown stains it could be also. Also the results of crushing bed bugs is the blood results that you'll see on sheets and pillowcases. Next slide. Gary said earlier to me that this is a great slide. And so when you're looking for bed bugs, you got to remember that bed bugs can hide anywhere. So they'll go along the baseboards. And baseboards doesn't mean necessarily an outside wall. It means everywhere. In your upholstered furniture, if you have like a day sofa like this room does, or lounge chairs, or even like a card table and chairs in there, behind the headboards, bed frames, mirrors, behind the electrical outlets, in and underneath the mattress and the box frame, underneath the dust cover. When you're flipping your dust covers over when the housekeeper's in there, if they run their finger along the seam of the stitching, they'll be able to feel like a salt-like material. It'd be whitish in color. That's the eggs. So we're going to take a close look behind the headboard and underneath the bed skirting. Next slide. When you're doing an inspection in a room, the best thing you can do for your maintenance staff or your housekeeping staff is to give them a bright flashlight that lights up and a magnifying glass. Once again, you want to check around your beds, mattresses, your box frames, your bed frames, your drapes, your curtains, any window coverings, any furniture, your end tables that lean up against the wall, the walls, the trim, baseboard, your windows, doors, floor coverings. If you have any kind of loose tiles or anything like that, look behind them, behind your pictures, wall outlets. You want to carefully check the mattress around the crease. When we say the crease, that's the stitching around the mattress frame, where the top and the bottom and the sides all meet. And then your covers, and you want to check for signs of black spots, which is fecal matter, and then spots of blood, which is reddish in color, and then small and translucent whitish eggs. That's what we talked about on the bed skirt. Next slide. The telltale signs of bed bugs. The brown or rust color stains on the bedding, that's going to be from the blood or the splattering of the bug when it's killed. The bed bug fecal, which is on the bedding, could be on the mattresses or could be on the box frame, could even be behind the headboard if you look behind there. The bed bug exoskeletons, they're going to be, like I said, yellowish in color or the white eggs. And you're going to be suspicious of any red spots when they're changing sheets in the middle of the day. They should be looking at the sheets, housekeeping should. And then also, your guests will have marks on their body. And usually a bed bug will bite more than one time. So if somebody comes up and says, hey, I got this bite, and it's only one, you want to maybe kind of dig a little deeper on that. Bed bugs will bite in 4 or 5 spots, and they'll look like almost in a curved line on a body. And then you're looking for blood spots once again on the sheets. And if there's any signs that are visible, dig deeper. Flip the mattress up. Find out if there's any other problems or infestations by looking at the bottom of the box frame, maybe behind the headboard. Next slide. Number 3 here, we want to train the staff. The staff is going to be the number one way that you can stop an initial infestation from starting. It's essential for your staff members to know how to recognize bed bugs and their signs, and then all staff members must know how to deal with the complaint. We do offer some training on our website that we have through No Bed Bugs. So if you want to research that, you can always get a hold of us and kind of dig deeper on that. But we'll go on the next slide. Of course, all staff, every team member should know how to recognize a bed bug in their eggs. You could take this video back. I think Gary said it's going to be posted where you guys will have access to it. Use the graph, how to show where the bed bug signs are, and then teach them off the slides. They're free for you guys to use in future trainings with your staff. But take every complaint serious and know how to deal with a complaint. The manager of the facility or the facility manager or the property manager should be immediately informed if it comes from the front desk and it's a staff worker. And then, of course, to any member that you're dealing with for the problem, you want to apologize if it's a customer for any inconvenience, and then we can quickly move them to another location. Just because we found them in the room that they're in doesn't mean that they're going to have them in a second room. So, team members need to answer questions and explain how you take care of these complaints and seriously how you go proactively on them. And we'll go more in detail on that once we get through some of these slides. Next slide. The cleaning staff. Cleaning staff are the first line of defense. We said that already. You want to have them establish a routine to identify the signs or potentials each time they clean a room. When you do that, you can have a checklist for them to look around the mattress, maybe lift up that bed skirt, looking for the eggs. The maintenance guys will go into in a minute. But have a checklist to mark that activity, and then make sure each cleaning person has a bright flashlight. Once again, that's the best tool they can have when they're in a room. Next slide. The maintenance personnel, you want to make sure they have the same thing, a checklist, but also you want to have them do monthly inspections. By doing deep cleanings into the room, you're going to get into the the bedding, the nightstands, the undersides of the mattresses and the box frames. And you want to, at least every 6 months, you want to be able to see the bottom of beds and stuff. Deep cleaning these items is essential for identifying problems before the infestation occurs. If you clean your room and you have a deep cleaning every 6 months, you're going to find problems in that room before the guests will ever see it. And then your property managers and site managers. So when you guys aren't there as the owners, you want to be make sure that these guys know what to be aware of. So they need to be aware of the problem. So if there is a room that's down, make sure that they know make sure we take it out of the system. Then we want to follow up on every complaint. We want to handle social media. We talked about that. If you have any problems or somebody says something, you want to be able to answer it. You want to be able to articulate that you're handling the situation and what steps you're doing to do that. So you want to communicate these relations. Understanding the impact and complaints and bad publicity. Somebody once said there's no such thing as bad publicity, just publicity. Well, when it comes to bed bugs, nobody wants to hear somebody has bed bugs. So it's always bad publicity. So get the staff the tools necessary to handle the problem. Make sure if you're going to be doing this in-house, you have the right equipment. If you're going to have it outsourced, make sure that they know how to get a hold of the company you have. And then also have a contract with a pest control company is not an option. It's a must. When I say that, you always want to have a pest control company coming through your property on a monthly basis, not only for your protection, but your guest protection, but also for your peace of mind. They may find something your staff may not see. So definitely always keep a contract with a pest control company. Even if you're doing a lot of the work yourself, you don't want to get rid of that company. Number 4 is providing a treatment and eliminating the pest infestation. So treatment processes should be effective and safe. Using monitors and mattress encasements for future inspections is really helpful. If you have monitors in place, you can inspect those as part of your routine inspection in the room. Mattress encasements makes it easier to see the fecal matter on the mattress and box springs before they could become a problem. Next slide. And then here's some of your treatment options you have. Chemical treatment, always want to be done by a professional. You don't want to be doing this yourself. You can get lawsuits. Counties can come in and take care of, find stuff on your building and shut you down if you do treatments yourself. So you can treat multiple rooms very easily and quickly with chemical. It is about a 50% effective rate. Bugs are more resistant to a lot of the chemicals now. Using diatomaceous earth, if it's used properly and by a licensed technician, it can be as an asset in the treatment with bed bugs. And then, this is carefully regulated by the EPA. So don't be doing this yourself because it is toxic chemicals and only a licensed and trained professional should be administering it. And then rooms can be out of service for up to 3 weeks. So you have to do retreatments on chemical, and that's where that 3-week comes in. Next slide. And then your freezing and steam, your limited treatment due to maintaining temperatures. On the steam, you have to get so close to stuff. Same with the cryonite. It's difficult to treat every surface. You can't get your alarm clocks, your TVs, your nightstands that are made out of particle board. You can't treat those. So it is time consuming. Because of the surfaces you're treating, individual things may not be able to be treated. Like I said, safe for electronics, it's not. Also for delicate items such as your particle boards or your bed frames. Steam can be used as an option for treatment, but it is also time consuming and it does have them same limitations with their treatment. Next slide. And then your treatment options for heat. It is the most effective way. It does kill bed bugs every stage of the way, 100%, including the eggs. The rooms can be back in less than 24 hours. It's not harmful to the environment or guests. And then heat treatment is easy to set up in a few minutes and can be done by a professional or your on-site maintenance as long as they're following the instructions of equipment you have. Next slide. And then other tools that are in the marketplace you can find on our website also. Heat enclosures. You can put bags in there. They come in 3 different sizes. So if somebody is staying in the hotel and you notice they have a problem, but they're not wanting to leave, you can put their bags, suitcases, backpack stuff inside a heat enclosure. We also have the encasements and the monitors we were talking about. You want to be able to use these tools so that you can stop this problem ahead of time. Next slide. And then your effectiveness on the options that we give. Chemicals about 50% due to the resistance. It's not a cost-effective way. If you're treating a room multiple times, then it takes multiple periods of weeks over time to get that done. Freezing and steam, because it's not 100% effective because you can't treat everything. It's about 80% due to difficulty in treating those surfaces and other items in the room like TVs and stuff. It's not cost effective given the treatment is limited to only certain surfaces. And then heat done by professional or your maintenance staff is 100% effective. It can be done, and it does penetrate every surface in the room. And using heat to kill bed bugs in all stages, it gives you the option of owning the equipment or having your staff do it at a greatly reduced cost. Even if you have a professional come in, it's going to be the most effective way, and it will kill all stages of bed bugs, including the eggs. Next slide. So in conclusion, bed bugs definitely are a problem. They're a serious matter. You want to be proactive. You want to detect any presence of those by doing your inspections. You want to be able to train your staff how to deal with the problem and the complaint once you discover it or once somebody brings it to your attention. You want to find the best way to treat the bed bugs, considering all your options and effectiveness and cost. And when I say cost, remember, cost is not always the cheapest way. It might be the best way, might cost you more, but the best way to do it, we always want to look at the matter on that, but cost isn't always money. It's always, factor into it, but it's not the money part of it. And then take your room or area at the first sign of bed bugs and make sure you do treat it. You don't want to just kind of ignore the problem and let it get out of hand. Next slide. Here's where we got our questions. So I know the participants have been listening. I'll let them ask some questions if they have any. And Gary, you can kind of direct that if anybody can punch in.
Sure, absolutely. So everybody is unmuted now. So if you have a question, feel free to chime in. I know there's people out there. Well, I guess I'll start off with a question for you, Jeff, because it's something that I see all the time. Is our consumers, our guests, are not necessarily very well educated about the topic of bed bugs. They just make the assumption that when there's a bite, it's a bed bug. I'm in a hotel, I got bit, it's a bed bug.
Yep.
So in your professional opinion, what is the best way for a hotel to address that with the guest and not say, hey, I know you're wrong or you're wrong, but to address it in a sensitive way that, well, maybe this isn't a bed bug because I only see one bite on you, as you had said earlier, because they bite in generally more than once. So yep. I'd love to hear your feedback on that.
Well, I've been in the hospitality industry for about 15 years. The easiest way to answer a guest is just kind of put them at mind. It might be a bed bug, but neither one of us are professionals. So we want to get the professionals in to look at it. Never doubt them, but never admit to it. So, by saying it could be, but we're not professionals, you're kind of saying, yeah, it might be, but you're not saying no. And that's one way of answering it. The other way is, that definitely could be a bed bug bite, but also could be a spider bite. I'm going to have to get my pest control guy in here and have him do a professional look and find out what's going on. And if it's, something where somebody's coming up with a bug and it is a bed bug and you've had the instance of being able to see those before, you can always say, well, I'm not sure where that bug came from. You're not admitting that it's yours. You're not admitting that they're lying. But you can always say, I'm going to take the room out of service. I'm going to move you to a different room, and we're going to have the professionals come in. That's easy ways of handling it, is putting it back on somebody else is going to look at it, somebody else is going to handle it, but also coming up with an easy solution of saying, it could be, but I'm not sure because I'm not a professional, and you're not either. And you're not calling them a liar that way, but you're also backing off the question of saying, yeah, I've got bed bugs.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Other questions? All right, Jeff, I guess what my next question would be is, can you tell us a little more about the product that you offer and how that differs? I know that personally, I know that you use the heating option with your product. So could you explain how those work? And basically, if a property were to find out from a guest, hey, I have bed bugs, what the steps are to actually do that treatment?
Sure. So if a property actually found out they had bed bugs, the equipment that we actually sell are bed bug heaters, encasements and chambers, and then we also have a residual spray that's it's a B25 category, which means to the hotel owner, it's an organic side, meaning they can spray it and not get in trouble because it's not a licensed pesticide. So those are the products we do have. When using these products, The heat treatments is a one piece of equipment that can go in a room, uses the existing electrical power in the building, and it heats the room up to 140 degrees. So everything that's in that room can stay in the room, including your TVs, your radio clocks, your alarm clocks, your telephones, any of the furniture, your curtains. It won't hurt any drywall or wallpaper or any of your FF&E. That's the easiest way to explain that. But it brings the temperature up to 140 degrees, and you hold that for 3 hours, and it kills all stages of bed bugs by getting into the nooks and crannies where the bed bugs live and the eggs are.
Thank you. Would you recommend, if somebody were to purchase your product, that they make that as kind of part of their preventative maintenance, maybe just to run that throughout the entire hotel once every 6 months?
Well, it's definitely commercial grade equipment that you're buying from us. It's all made in the U.S. And if you broke something, we can fix it. I always say, if you own it, use it. You're not going to outwear our machine. Our machines have a warranty on them. Our standard machine is the BBHD 12. That has a 3-year warranty. And our BBHD 8 has an 18-month warranty. If you ran it every day for 18 months, you're not going to wear that machine out. It's still going to go much longer than the warranty, but it is made here in the U.S., so we can get parts if it was. So I always say, if you own it, use it. If it was my hotel, I would run it every single day in a different room and just move it room to room and just become part of my maintenance. Saying that, a lot of hotel owners buy it and they go the proactive or the reactive mode, and basically just use it in rooms they have problems in. That's also a good way of using the product. That will use, besides bed bugs, you can take smoke smell and marijuana smells away from it by heating the room up. So it is a good thing to put into service and use. That's why we sell them. You won't hurt the machine by using it every day, but you also won't hurt the property if you decide you want to buy it and just use it on a proactive basis or a reactive basis.
Great. I mean, we spray for cockroaches and other insects on a monthly basis, most of our properties. Yep. So I think, that would be a very similar practice that you'd like to use with this product.
Yep. The other concern that they have on the products, Gary, some of the times the questions we hear is it might cost too much on electric, or, it's taking my room out for 12 hours. If you're spraying chemical in a room, by law, the room has to be out for 24 hours. That's according to the EPA, any chemical that's used in a commercial space. So you're already taking these rooms out if you're spraying them according to law. So using the machine and taking it out for 10 to 12 hours is not going to be any different. Now, a lot of these companies don't do that, not hoteliers, but pest control guys won't tell their customers that. But doing the heat treatments, you're also killing other things besides the bed bugs and smells. You're going to be able to kill those cockroaches. You're going to be able to kill those spiders. Also be able to dry the room out, take any wet odors out of the room, smell and stuff like that, pet odors. So it is a good product to use on a routine basis. The general cost for running them in one of our units in the property is about $3 to $6 on a 24-hour period. And that's at the high stakes in California. If you're in some of the smaller states that don't charge as much for electricity use, you're going to be in that $1 to $3 range for a 24-hour use period. So it's almost as inexpensive as having your room sprayed by a pest control company.
That's great. All right. Any other questions?
It's okay if they don't have any questions, but if they do, we're willing to answer them. And my contact information's in here. If they have questions they don't want to be put out on the big screen, they can also basically ask by calling me directly, and I'll answer anybody's questions anytime.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time today, Jeff. I think this is a very valuable topic to speak about. It's one that we get a lot of questions about, and doing site visits, I've had several hoteliers tell me how valuable this product was to them. I had one hotelier that told me that he was very, very happy with it because it would have cost him more to treat the couple rooms that he had during one outbreak than it did to purchase a machine. So between the cost of sale, not being able to rent the room, all of those things. So, I've heard some really positive feedback on these products.
Well, we have heaters that start out as low as 1729. They're all your brands across the board get our best pricing. We've done that as part of the partnership with you guys. And we also back the equipment. So if they have any questions or problems, we're here to help them technically support it and get it back up and running. And average cost on a bed bug room right now in the U.S. is $400 to $800. And so all it takes is 2 rooms in a 5-year period, and you're paying for this equipment.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you for everybody who participated.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you very much. This wraps up another Think Tank Thursday. Keep an eye out for our January Think Tank Thursday, and happy holidays. Have a great day.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.